Prabhu, can we start, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today is actually the today we'll be actually going through the Prabhupada's Markine Bhagavata Dharma. This is actually verse number 9, and we have the honor of having His Grace Gaurachandra Gopinath Prabhu, who he be sharing the nectar with us. Prabhu, over to you.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jaya Radha Vinoda Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Subhadramai Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Anantade Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Anantade Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Gop Premanande Nam Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivacharya Astotra Divine Grace AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Magyam Tadati Swapatantikam Vandegam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadudam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshadarine महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनदारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत्। Hare Krishna, welcome to Prabhupada Katha, Wednesday morning. I pay my humble obeisance to Rabbi Lochan Gauranga Sankarshan Priya Prabhu, Ashokatma Prabhu, Daimai Baladev Prabhu, Devendra Prabhu, Bhashyam Prabhu, Radharani Mataji, Arjim, Rukmani Rupa Mataji, Saraswati Mataji, Hare Krishna, Smita Kesha Prabhu, Uma Shankar, and Vishwambar Charan Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Please sufficiently bless me so that I will be able to speak today on this verse. You're able to see my screen, Prabhu? So we are continuing on the Markine Bhagavata Dharma written on the Boston Harbor. Ki kore bujabo kata borose chaki kudra mi dinahina pono shakti nahi. So Prabhupada is writing in this shloka, how will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate and sorry, how will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. So I was thinking, what is the topic? I can choose one theme, I can talk about it. Then seeing these words, Prabhupada is so humble. His quality of depending on Krishna, even though he was already given the title by his god brothers, Bhakti Vedanta, he knew his written article, he's translated Bhagavad Gita. He written Bhagavatam by that time, and Prabhupada, already knew quite bit. He achieved something, and his already his god brothers knew his capacity. But still, Prabhupada humility is mind-boggling, and is telling that in these prayers, how do they understand this message? I'm unfortunate, unqualified, and most fallen, and he's depending on completely on Krishna. So one is the depending on Krishna for everything. Second thing is the humility. These are the two topics we would see and some pastimes of Prabhupada Katha to understand how this is very key important, and also in our life how we can apply that, how we can learn from Srila Prabhupada prayers that anything we try to achieve, we know that it's all because of Krishna's pure mercy. So how one become the progress of bhakti depends on the humility. Humility is the key factor, key quality on which one can progress on bhakti. Without humility, there is nothing else. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always quotes in the Sistastakam Trinarapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sagishnuna, Amani Namarandena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. You can do Kirtaniya Sadahari in the mode of humility. So, and also some quotation from the Shastras, the six limbs of surrender in the nectar of devotion. Prabhupada talks about the six qualities. One is that Anukulishya Sankalpa, favorable, accepting what is favorable to Krishna consciousness, pratikulyasya varjanam, rejecting what is not favorable to Krishna conscious, rakshayati vishwashaha. This is another thing Prabhupada always depend on Krishna throughout his life. Goptrave Varanam, that he is the protector, savior, and helplessness, Karpanyam. So this is also in this prayer, you can mostly see this Karpanyam. Prabhupada is staying helpless. He's staying, I'm unqualified. I will not be able to make them understand. Can you give me the power? I'm powerless to do on my own. This Karpanyam is expiating and complete surrender as well. Atma Nikshepaha. So depending on Krishna, utter helplessness is the essential subject. We'll try to see that. And if you see the example of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Advaitacharya is none other than Mahavishnu and also Shiva combined. And he is already preached. Mayavada philosophy came in the Sankaracharya form. Mahavishnu, he's taken many avatars. He preached everything. Uh, so it's never that Advaita Acharya thought, okay, let me go and preach. This Kali Yuga is meant for Sankirtan movement, let me do it. Mahavishnu is thinking, I am so unqualified. Unless the Sakshat Krishna comes, I will not be able to preach. So he was so vigorously worshipping Shaligram with Gangachal, depending that Krishna, you can only deliver them. I will not be able to do. Look at the humility of the Mahavishnu, who is creating the entire universe, who is maintaining this entire universe. He's the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Shirodakashaya Vishnu, and Mahavishnu. That Mahavishnu prays that, oh Krishna, you come, you preach. I will not be able to preach. Amazing humility. And Lord Nityananda, even though Lord Nityananda, the Adi Guru, who he can deliver himself the entire universe, for 13 years, after 13 years, he went on Tirthayatra till Mahaprabhu was ready to start the Sankirtan. He was going on simply on Tirthayatra. He was just waiting for Mahaprabhu's call, 20 years. At the age of 32, then 30 or something like that, they meet in Nandanacharya's house. So that shows another, the lords themselves, they are capable of delivering either Nityananda Prabhu or Advaita Acharya, but they're all waiting for Mahaprabhu's order and say, unless Krishna, you give me power, I will not be able to preach. And Prahlad Maharaj, also like when we see that when Nrsimhadeva's Rip opened the pillar and he killed Hiranyakashipu. After that, everybody want to pacify. And they said, Brahma, you are the most competent person, you are the knowledgeable person, you are the first Pitamaha, why don't you go and pray? Brahma says, I can't do that. I can't pray. I never seen the Lord in such angry mood. Moreover, I am the gave this all this boon, and what the Lord will think. Then he says, Lakshmi Devi is the better person, she is the concerned. And Lakshmi Devi saw and said, oh my God, I never seen, this is not my husband. I never seen him, my husband like this. I can never go closer to him. It's no way. But Prahlad Maharaj has been to sent. And Prahlad Maharaj prays that I'm from demonic family. He never thought, oh, see, I'm the great person because of me. Lord has come. I'm the qualified person. He says, oh, I'm from the demonic family. At least Brahma has come from very good, he's come from the novel of the Lord, and Mother Lakshmi is the consort, my mother. But how can I do? I came from the demonic family. That's a humility Prahlad Maharaj prays before worshipping the Lord. So this humility, depending on the Lord, Karpanyam, helplessness. Advaita Acharya is called helplessly. Oh Krishna, you have to come. There is no option. So no option. He was worshipping Shaligram, so loudly crying out for Lord. And Lord Nityananda was so meditating on Mahaprabhu in Vrindavan. He was just waiting when the Lord would call. When do I go and join him? So he was waiting for that. They did not take the preaching on their hand. So the another wonderful thing we can refer for the humility is that when the qualities of devotees explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 22, text 78 to 80. कृपालु अकृत द्रोह सत्य सार समा निर्दोष वदन्या मृदु शुचि अकिंचना सर्वोपकार शांत कृष्णैक शरणा अकाम अनिह स्थिर विज सद्गुणा मत बुक अपराम अपरामत मंदना अमानी Gambira Karuna Maitra Kavi Daksha Muni. So devotees are always merciful, humble, truthful, equal to all, faultless, magnanimous, mild, and clean. They are without material possessions and they perform welfare work for everyone. They are peaceful, surrendered to Krishna, and desireless. They are indifferent to material acquisition and are fixed in devotion service. They completely control six bad qualities lust, anger, greed, and so forth. They eat only as much as required and they are not inberited. They are respectful, grave, compassionate, and without false prestige. They are friendly, poetic, expert, and silent. So all these qualities can be mapped to Srila Prabhupada, and we can talk about every qualities. But today we would see that Krishna Eka Sarana, depending only on Krishna, again is humble, Akrita Droha. So apart from merciful, is also humble. So again, these qualities are repeating again. One time, Bhakti Swami Maharaj was telling Srila Prabhupada because he joined little later and the Prabhupada passed time, and he was the one of the sannyasi. He joined very late in the movement, but he progressed very quickly to sannyas order. Relatively, he's very junior compared to other sannyasis and things like that. So he was feeling that I'm willing to serve you. Like that. Especially he was there in the end pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada replied, I never was alone. I was always with Krishna. So the depending on Krishna is there in Prabhupada's mood every time. It's never that Prabhupada never felt Krishna was not there. He's always felt the presence of Krishna. So this is the prayer I was explaining how how Srila Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj was feeling. How is it possible for me, who have been born in a family of Asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and the saintly person could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words. Although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of goodness, then what is to be said in me? I am not qualified. So Prahlad Maharaj says, humbly, I am not qualified. So similarly, when Prabhupada was trying to spread this message, somebody trying to glorify Prabhupada, then always Prabhupada would say, I am just trying to disseminate this message of my spiritual master. And if there is any credit for this service, everything goes to him. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the letter. So always Prabhupada gives credit to his spiritual master. One time, all these devotees were telling, Prabhupada, you are great. You have done so much preaching. You have established 108 temple. You have made 10,000 disciples. Like that. You've done better than the previous acharyas. Prabhupada said, no, no, no. My Guru Maharaj is the best. Um, when I was in India, I was struggling to preach in India. I could not able to even make any big impact. But my Guru, the same India he preached, but he made 64 matas. So who is greater? Is my Guru is greater? I am greater. Then second point Prabhupada says, when that time it was no flight as the answer of the talk, or maybe there, but just initial beginning. But if it would have been other facilities like what I have, probably my Guru Maharaj would have preached entire universe and would have gone to another universe. Sometime Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would look at the moon and you would say we should go to the moon for preaching because there is a lot of sense gratification happening. So the pure Vaishnava can see that, but Prabhupada always in the mood of saying that he is not capable. It is all his guru's arrangement that everything is happening. So time and again, this humility Prabhupada was talking about it. So what is this humility? Sometime, we think humility is, somebody says, Prabhu, I'm so fallen, I'm not qualified, I can't do anything. Expressing explicitly some words, it is not humility. Humility is, so these are some of the experts I've taken from Back to God and by Her Grace Urmila Devi Dasi, Srila Prabhupada disciple. It's amazing. Some of the essence it captures what is humility. Then probably we'll see some more pastimes of Srila Prabhupada to understand better. So humility is honesty, giving others credit and acknowledgement and minimizing our own accomplishments and abilities. While within the long for respect and recognition, it is not humility. So we might acknowledge others, We might minimize our own position. That is not real humility, but internally you are seeking for a respect and recognition. If there is something given by you, God, some qualities, extraordinary qualities, you might be a great singer if it is that blessing Krishna has given, or you might be a good cook, that capability Krishna has given. You might be a very good orator in Bhagavatam. That qualities Krishna has given, you don't need to uh, minimize that, and rather thinking that this is the talent which Krishna has, my spiritual master has. They kindly bestowed me to exhibit this on behalf of them. I'm representing the Guru Parampara, I'm representing my Guru. If there is something good you see, that's yes, that's because we don't say that, no, no, Prabhu, I'm not that qualified, Prabhu. I don't know, Prabhu. That is not that mode, that is not humility, but internally you're thinking, oh, they're so happy to hear this glorification. Sometimes we are so humble, so humble, so humble that we are so proud of our humbleness. That I am the only person who are very humble in this entire temple. I feel I'm see the other person how they are behaving so proud, so rude. They can't even tolerate this. I'm able to tolerate it. That's also a proud. It's not humility. So there is something good which is there. So be it. You don't need to be. Reduce yourself, thinking less of yourself. That is not the uh, humility. Humility is that thinking more of others, thinking of yourself less. You're not centric, you're not bodily centric. Oh, most of the time when you feel yourself less of yourself means, oh, I mind, I am very humble. See, I am very controlling my anger. I'm better than the other devotees. It's more of I concentration happens, even though you're trying to be humility. It's more of concentration on I, me, see how I am great, how I am humble. So that we should come out and think about others, how to glorify other devotees. If somebody does good, thinking less of ours than, thinking more of others, that's real humility. So that's another good point to understand. Sometimes people will misconception that inferiority complex with the humility. Um, uh, so sometimes being in the mood of humbleness, the inferiority complex is just less of thinking less of yourself sometimes. So it is not that when you are wearing a dog's collar, you need to be certain things, you need to be proud of it because I'm a devotee, because Krishna has given, I have a spiritual master. So you have certain qualities, so be it. And you give the credit to the previous acharyas rather than reducing that position. So it's also honesty. Uh, Honesty means telling truth. uh, this is what it is. You don't need to hide the truth. Um, and there is no duplicity. Telling honestly, accepting some mistakes or accepting whatever you have openly as it is, then that is real humility, because it takes a lot of guts to accept something which you are not, which you have something wrong, that we generally show up saying that, oh, what the other devotees will think. But if you have done something wrong or which you don't have, then openly telling Prabhu, this I can't do because I've never done it, or I can't do this, I've done previously, I miserably failed. This is openly accepting what your fault is. Honesty is humility. It takes a lot of energy to accept the pitfalls what we have. So humility is grateful. The another thing is the humility is being grateful to Krishna, because he's given all these qualities. Sense of unworthiness is eclipsed by the wonder and happiness of understanding that Krishna has blessed us despite of all our faults. Oh, I have so much fault, but still Krishna could able to enable me to speak nicely, able to manage the group nicely, able to do render some service in the temple nicely. So it's Krishna is great. It's because of Prabhupada, Guru, and their mercy I could able to do that. So being able, humility is being able to humility is joyful. It is not morose. Prabhu, I'm the most fallen in the world. Um, you have to protect me. I can't do anything. It is not being morose and feeling very sad about oneself. It is joyful. Humility means you should supposed to be joyful. take little notice of how others should treat him. So he's content, even joyful in all circumstances. Oh, I don't deserve this, but still Krishna is giving so much. So you will become in the mood of joyful. You rather more be grateful, thankful than being self-centered around, oh, I'm not qualified, I'm not done that. That retrospection is required, but that should not go into a depression situation or morose situation where you keep doing it. So there is one beautiful example, Bhakta Dasa, who's written sharing on Prabhupada. Humility means acting boldly. When she was asked, what is humility? Then Prabhupada replied, humility is to act boldly for Krishna. We may think that humility is to become meek, quiet, or submissive. But no, Prabhupada said, be bold for Krishna. So one time I was preaching in Damodar Arati program, and one of our devotee from temple had come. So we were preaching at the preaching had happened. The host was very delighted. I mean, she is not a devotee, and she said, "Prabhu, you both of must take some food. Uh, of course, this is without onion garlic, but you have to take it." So I was in double-minded. Why should I take? It's not prasad. I know it is boha, but it's no onion garlic. Uh, But I was hesitant in Damodar month. Why should I necessarily take? But she was so insisting and is going to the disappointment mode. Oh, Prabhu, you're not taking. That other devotee started saying, no, I will take it. But I was still adamant. And Prabhu felt very bad. Why this Prabhu is so looking arrogant or rude? If some host is asking, requesting, begging, why you can't take little boga like that? And sometimes the devotees also will quote, one time Prabhupada went to the donor's house and they made it with onion garlic, and Prabhupada did not say. His disciples were all telling, Prabhupada, they made with onion garlic. Prabhupada said, keep quiet and eat. And then Prabhupada chastised them. It is your fault. You didn't tell them what to cook. And you're telling after going there, sitting and eating, and you are disappointing the donors. And Prabhupada ate it. If Prabhupada ate it, why can't you take it, Prabhu? This is anyhow without onion garlic. So a lot of argumentation can come. One is struggling already with senses. One is already struggling with so much Maya. You are not on Prabhupada platform. So sometimes you need to be tell them, Mataji, I want to take fruits. I'm happy to take fruits, but I don't want it. I was very firm and not taking boha. But people might think that this is not humility. Oh, what kind of humility you're showing? You're such a great preacher, but still you're showing arrogantness. So it may be different view perspectives might be there, but this understanding humility is very difficult task. So let us see from Prabhupada's definition of humility from as his pastime. Then probably you will understand more of depending on Krishna, what does it humility means. So so this is one time Shruta Kirtidas is writing in his realization. So one time Srila Prabhupada talk about sleep as well as food. So Prabhupada generally takes a nap in the afternoon after the food everything happens. So Prabhupada visited Dallas temple. Then I asked Shruta Kirti, do you take nap at the after lunch? And that is not the something practiced in ISKCON before that. It's only Prabhupada was doing it. Then he said, no, Prabhupada, it is not something I do. Then Prabhupada said, I'm become old. I can't sleep for long hours. I need to have nap in the afternoon. Then Prabhupada was very humble in telling that, explaining him why he has to take nap in case, what is the new bhakta would think. And Prabhupada humility is capturing here to explain this moment. Um, so then Prabhupada said, whenever he takes rest, he feels that he is going to waste. I'm wasting time. So Prabhupada is all explaining to his younger servants who are 20 years old and he's 70 years old. They have already respect for him. It doesn't need to, explanation is required. But Prabhupada is explaining them. Sometimes the disciples not able to walk face with Prabhupada and they were all exhausted and tired. But Prabhupada walk. So in this occasion, I also remember one of the first time of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. And I was going on this the Mayapur Navadip Mandal Parikrama. So I've been to a couple of times. And one time Guru Maharaj was taking bath in Alkananda, I don't know whatever river, but other devotees went because it was a lunchtime. The party went ahead with Ethan, they already reached, but for various reasons there was a call or something he has to make, and he was taking bath, and by dressing he was speaking something. By the time everybody's left, Maharaj was on his own, Guru Maharaj, and there was one foreigner Mataji with small kid. She's walking slowly, or she was there, and I was there. Only two of us were there, and somehow we were also started walking, thinking that he will take some more time and will join. But the time he got up and everything finished, and Guru Maharaj also joined us. So only we three of us were there in the parikrama. One is that Mataji with the young kid, myself, and His Holiness Chapatka Maharaj. His humility was heart touching. And there was one rickshaw fellow, this rickshaw without no body, just a flat square will be there. Anybody can sit in Maya for those who have gone. So that kind of rickshaw wala comes. And he looked to both of us, and he said, "Please excuse me, I need to use this rickshaw because my legs are not cooperating." Something like that he told. And he got into the rickshaw for 2-3 minutes. Then I don't know what he thought, not 2-3 minutes, few seconds, few yards he went, then he got down. Then he started walking with us. Then he turned towards us and he said, "I've been doing this parikrama for many years. I never use any transport. I personally walk back from my I will use a vehicle. This is what I was saying it. That's what he was explaining it. So he would stop from there. He'll go to Mayapur and come, but he would come back to the same point to ensure that again he would walk the parikrama. He always many years he's been walking. He never uses the vehicle. Then that's the first day he was trying to get into the rickshaw, that too for a few yards. Then he got on. Again he walked us. I don't know what he thought. Then he was explaining it for a guru to for small person who even don't know they have who we are, and he was trying to humility is such humility, he was explaining it, what he was doing it, why he was doing it, even though we are two of us. He would have just got into the vehicle, say bye, I'll see you there, right? But that is not the mood of the acharyas. They treat every soul equally and with a great respect. That is the humility of the acharyas. And here Prabhupada to his younger Shrutakirti Das explaining why he has to take rest. One time he was okay, let's go more times. So what is humility in Krishna's service? So this Satsvaru Goswami Maharaj writes, Upendra Das asked Swamiji, how should we feel humble? I feel sometimes that when I try to be humble, I first think about it and then I try to be humble. So Upendra is telling, I want to always become, always meditate on how can I be humble. Then I try to act humble. Is it is it right? Because I felt it artificial. That's what he's explaining. But Prabhupada said, this is perfect. This is how one should feel. This is real humility. When we think that, oh, should I have done it this way? That is good, because then there is always room for improvement. If you go on thinking, oh, I did not perform this duty so nicely, I should have done it this way, then you will improve. Our love for Krishna keeps growing as long as we think that we are not doing the most for Krishna and what we must do more. This is humility. If you think, oh, I did this wonderfully, then I'm such a nice and sincere devotee, then there is not good. You will not be able to improvement. So there should be retrospective should happen. How can I improve the next service better? That's always humility, because you want to see that, there is always scope for improvement. Then that is a real humility in Krishna service. So Prabhupada is telling that why this humility is very, very important. This is Samsavatar Prabhu is talking. For me, quality in Srila Prabhupada that stood out more than anything is that it was his humility. Many of the devotees who are met Srila Prabhupada, you tell me out of this many magnanimous qualities, what is standing out? Everybody would say humility. I had never met someone with so great before. I had never met someone with such a energy that beamed in this way he did. When you are in Prabhupada presence, it seems like you are in the presence of a giant, because Prabhupada is barely 5 feet. Comparatively, his Westerner disciple is very small figure, but the way they feel is like now is big. Because I remember him saying so many times that this is the first quality. That if you don't have humility, then how can you possibly expect to make any advancement in spiritual life? Prabhupada says the first quality of any disciple or any devotee who needs to have his humility. Otherwise, there is no advancement in spiritual life. So that was it for me. He didn't ask for any worship. He didn't say, remember my name. You don't see his name up in lights anywhere. Prabhupada always said, chant Hare Krishna. So this is the experience Prabhupada gave to all his disciples. So one time the reporter, Giriraj Swami was quoting this. One time the reporter, Prabhupada was talking about Varnashrama, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. So the reporter suddenly asked, oh, Prabhupada, you are belongs to the first category, a Brahmana category. Do you think yourself as the first category? Then Prabhupada and he said, I am not this four category. I am the fifth class. I am servant of all this four class. And straight humility answered bold that the reporter could not able to speak anything. So and he meant it. It is not that Prabhupada was feeling very meek, humble. It's naturally spontaneous. He was thinking like that. He's very humble. So um, so also another Bhakta Neo who is also explaining whenever the first meeting happens with Srila Prabhupada, the first thing stands out that was Prabhupada was always humble. I was struck with reverence when I saw Prabhupada walking down a aisle. One thing I remember that was Prabhupada's face. He was just emanating that humility, extreme humility. Though he was so great, it was like he was constantly remembering that he is the significant servant of Krishna, insignificant servant of Krishna. That was the impression I got when I saw him. Initial days also he would write, you are unworthy beggar or something like that in the letter when he was trying to establish Krishna conscious in New York and other places. So Prabhupada was extremely humility. So then next one is nothing will save you except the mercy of Krishna. This is depending on mercy of Krishna again, Prabhupada. So writes Harivilas Das is remembered this very important quote. Humility means that you convinced beyond any doubt. This is Srila Prabhupada telling. Somebody asked, what is humility? Again, Prabhupada gives his answer. Humility means that you are convinced beyond any doubt that there is nothing in this world, absolutely nothing in this world, not your money, not your family, not your fame, not your gun, not your education, nothing that will save you except the mercy of Krishna. When you are convinced like this, you are humble. What profound explanation Prabhupada gives. How he was literally in his lifetime also, he never depend on. One time, Prabhupada went to US and came back very successful to India. So all this Gujaratis, Marwadi, they had a commerce of association. They all want to know how this guy, 40 rupees made 400 billion worth of temples and, so much money. That too at age of 75, you can within few years, 40 rupees into 400 million. My God, I know they all interviewed and they entered Prabhupada. All these associates came to airport and they want to have his association. They were discussing, Prabhupada, how did you make 40 rupees into 400 million? That too 4 5 days. It's a very good business model. We want to make a case study and we want to publish it. And Prabhupada said, this unflinching faith and the holy name, and that's what it made me. And they could not able to understand this unflinching faith in the holy name. There are so many disciples would have probably met 15 minutes or somebody would have never met Srila Prabhupada. And they gave their life for Srila Prabhupada. One time in US, I don't remember the Prabhu's name. So he was a great book distributor, and that's initial days. And Prabhupada, after some time, he never met Srila Prabhupada, so but he's been distributing books for a long time. And Prabhupada went and one day evening he wanted to see that devotee, but the devotee had, I think, Buddhi Khan or Buddhi something like that, his name. So then he had already gone out for book distribution. He came in the evening. Then the secretary told Prabhupada wants to see you because he wants to talk to you about the book distribution. So the devotee just came from outside. He didn't take bath. So what he did is quickly he said 2 minutes and he went, took the shower. He didn't had a proper dhoti and they washed kurta. Then he just wore this dhoti and ran to Srila Prabhupada and paid obeisances and he sat. He's seeing Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is looking at him. He didn't have top. He's only had dhotis and just came. And he doesn't know what to speak. He was shivering because it's a new emotional And Prabhupada said, "Where is your top?" And Prabhupada, I just came from book distribution. I didn't had washed clothes to wear, so I just wore dhoti and came rushing to see you. You wanted to see me. Then Prabhupada said, he asked his secretary, "Go and get my one of my kurta." Then he told him, "You wear this kurta, then I'll talk to you because it's very cold. Then Prabhupada made him wear this kurta. Then he spoke. Then the devotee saved this kurta for lifelong as a remembrance. So that's real humility, concern what Prabhupada has. One time in Australia, one devotee has been asked to send to pick up Srila Prabhupada. So the people were very busy in organizing the temple. Still, final phase of construction, designing, painting, everything was happening, and Prabhupada was asked to pick up the airport. So this devotee also had the same question. How come Srila Prabhupada without 40 rupees he made 400 million? So in the airport, he picked up and he paid obeisances. And we started the journey to temple. Then he asked Prabhupada, "Can I ask you one question?" Prabhupada said, "Yes." "How would you able to make this 40 rupees into 400 million? I want to know." Prabhupada started chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He picked his big beat bag, he showed like this, and he chanted Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The devotee thought, okay, Srila Prabhupada is chanting, I should not disturb him. But this was ringing in his mind. So halfway through, he thought, okay, let me ask him now. Again, Prabhupada, can you please tell me how you made this 40 to 400 crores, 400 million, whatever it is? So Prabhupada again picked up his beat bag and he chanted Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. But okay, still Prabhupada is chanting, so let me not disturb him. And he was about to get down to the temple. He's almost reached the temple. He thought this is the last time. Still, I should ask Prabhupada. Again, he was third time asking Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, how do you made this 40 rupees into 400 millions? Then Prabhupada smiled and tell him I've been telling from since the every time I'm telling the unflinching faith and the holy name Hare Krishna, that's what it made. Again he emphasized chanting of the holy name. I did not make its holy name everything. The unflinching faith is what very important. So that's humility of Srila Prabhupada. He never took any credit. And this is another wonderful heart-touching pastime. Let me see what's the time. 8 o'clock. So with this pastime I would stop because when I speak Prabhupada non-stop. So Shrutakirti was the servant for that time. Srila Prabhupada was very, very ill. Srila Prabhupada and his quarters is still being getting ready and a lot of construction happening. And still they were one place where Srila Prabhupada was taken care. And he would Prabhupada cannot move on his own. So you need two people to hold him to move him to bathroom or whatever it is. So Shrutakirti's job was that every night he has to stay next to Prabhupada. So next to Prabhupada bed, very closer to the bed, he will put his mat and in the same net of mosquito net what Prabhupada had, he would sleep under that, thinking that, how fortunate I am, the dog, I've been ready to serve because it's so important that Prabhupada cannot even call out, voice out. So as soon as he tells something, he needs something, somebody should get up. So they need to be very close to Srila Prabhupada. They can't stay in another room and Prabhupada bell rings, he can come because Prabhupada is very, very, that time, very ill. And it was very difficult for him. And he would massage him and one day he made him sleep, Srila Prabhupada, and he slept next to him. And that what one night in the AM in the early morning, Prabhupada, he heard some can, walking stick falling on the ground, making noise. He woke up and saw Prabhupada was collapsed on the floor and his stick fell down. And he had the shock of his life. Oh, Prabhupada, he picked up him and he said, "Why don't you call me? I'm here." Prabhupada said, "No, I wanted to go to bathroom." "That's okay. I'm here only for this seva. Why are you not woke me up?" I said, "I saw you've been sleeping, taking rest. I don't want to disturb. I thought I can manage myself. I tried, but miserably I failed. And I don't have strength. I thought I have a strength and I don't want to disturb you." And hearing this, tears in the eyes, Shrutakirti, humility, seeing Srila Prabhupada at this age doesn't want to disturb his young servant who is there. And he said, "No, I'm here to serve you. There is nothing else I have." Um, Also, Prabhupada would see his way of approaching. He would not say, "Can you, please prepare something?" He would always ask, request them, "Could you please prepare something for me now, or can we leave?" He never said, "Let's do it." Okay, you're doing this. We are going. Prabhupada never ordered. Whenever there is a disciples are there, he would say, "Can we do that? Can we go now? Can we see that place?" He would request them in the mood of amazing Prabhupada. So last, I would stay with one more pastime, then we would wind up for more realization. Um, so this is another humility. What I've seen is Sivananda Sen is quoting Srila Prabhupada one time. We never heard this kind of thinking that Prabhupada was always strongly feeling that his disciples should pray for him. One time Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, if I'm able to make one devotee, then my mission is successful. And Prabhupada always thought that he asked the devotees to pray for him so that he can go back to Godhead. So, or you would say that if even one devotee becomes strong as Dhruva Maharaj, then they will deliver me. Look at that humility Srila Prabhupada had. So this Sivananda Sen was assigned to do massage and take care of, cook him. One time he was trying to massage and Prabhupada said, "You should pray for me." And the devotee was shattered and said, "Prabhupada, I can't do this because I am not qualified. This will not work out." And Prabhupada asked, "Why not? If you are a devotee of Krishna," then he asked him to, pray for it. So there is another time, another sannyasi disciple came to meet Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, and he requested Prabhupada he should complete all the 12 cantos, then leave. Then he said, "If you can sufficiently pray to Krishna that I'll be able to translate." So see the humility. Prabhupada was so humble that he is asking his disciple to always to pray, and he never thought that um, he can do this on his own. And one time, Srila Prabhupada giving class in the Mayapur lecture, and he constructed everything. He brought so much disciples, and he has done everything literally. Then he said in the Vyasasana, "I'm not qualified to guide you. In previous life, somehow or other, you're connected to Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you preached with him. So Mahaprabhu and my Guru Maharaj sent all of you to assist me in the preaching. On my own, I don't have any qualities. This all the credit goes to my Guru as well as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because you are all eternal associates. You've been preaching, so that's why Krishna made arrangement this past time." So that's a real humility of Srila Prabhupada. I would stop here. It is 8 o'clock. So for any corrections and share more realization. Thank you very much.
Krishna Prabhu, Gaurachandra, thank you for the wonderful nectar of, glorifying Srila Prabhupada's humility, which was the main theme which we covered today. But it was really it was very touching to me. There were so many points, but I just wanted to, capture a few of them which really touched me. First, you talked about the 6 limbs of surrender, and which is what we need to, what do you call, accept what is favorable to us. And then one of the most important things is depending totally on Krishna, which actually Srila Prabhupada showed it everywhere. You also talked about the humility taken by various personalities, Mahavishnu, Advaitacharya, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, as well as Prahlad Maharaj. So you wonderfully brought out what humility actually means. And then you talked about the qualities of devotees and how Srila Prabhupada had all of them. You actually had a quote from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which actually covered this. It was amazing. And you also talked about how Srila Prabhupada, every time any credit was given to him, he immediately gave all credit to his spiritual master. And you were giving a few definition of what actually humility means. It is not something, it is not, it should not be looked at as something having a low self-esteem or something like that. Rather, it should be more, humility is actually, you put it as, it's honesty, it's gratefulness, it's also joyful. And there were a few quotes where Prabhupada demonstrated, it said that humility means what? It's act boldly for Krishna. You talked about an instance where, how can I do more and improve to serve better for Krishna? And you also gave a few more instances which talked about nothing will save you except Krishna. In that mood, if we start serving, that would be the actual, what do you call, word. I mean, that would be the actual meaning of humility. So thank you for actually, educating us on this particular topic. I will just open the lines for the devotees to share their comments as well as realizations. And Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam. As usual, it's wonderful. And so much you spoke about humility and all the except from the life of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, can you just tell that Madhya Leela, that reference, Prabhu, the 3 slokas you were telling? Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Okay, it was 20, Madhya Leela, I think it's 24, 22nd chapter, text number 78 to 80.
78 to 80. So,
it's all together one words actually. Chapter 22, Madhya Leela, chapter 22, text number 78.
Wonderful. Only thing is, you were so fast, you could not even jot down the points. Only thing, whatever just caught, it is there in the mind, but wonderful, Prabhu. Then with Pranam, we pray for you so you learn more and more and you give us more and more. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, I'm naturally speak little faster. Other thing also, I want to, so much thing, I don't know. I have not covered many things, so I will try to be slow next time.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranams. Thank you
Prabhu.
so much. Thank you so much in explaining the humility, Prabhu. Really, I was very much touched by the explanation given by you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Haribol, Prabhu.
Thank you, Bashim.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam Prabhu.
Shakatma Prabhu, Member Obeisances.
It's a very good nectar today, Prabhu. See, through these pastimes, one thing is that you made us to realize that every time we should have this humility. It should keep on lingering in our mind, in all the situations, in all the circumstances. This humility factor should come front of our eyes, and we should exhibit it. So that is what my realization, Prabhu. A wonderful lecture. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you very much for the nectar today you have given me, and it's my realization, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, Saraswati Mataji has written saying that Hare Krishna Dandavad Pranams. Prabhuji, thanks for the wonderful explanation of humility, which is so important to progress on the spiritual path. Prabhu, I just wanted to add one which really touched me in terms of, where you give an example of devotees saying that I'm most humble. And we always keep saying, I'm so humble, I'm proud of my humility. That was like really so hard to say. We need to understand the definition and actually feel very humble, which is a very, very important aspect. From thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam. We had known about humility very little, Prabhu. So today we could get different phases of humility. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
And one time, Prabhupada, humility is, I don't know, we can never stop in one class, 45 minutes, try to cover. He is at the deathbed. What do you think, Prabhupada, then the last thing, all his God brothers started coming and he started telling them, please forgive me if I have offended you. It's the only thing Vaishnava Aparadhi was worried about, and he was asking every of his God brother who knew that he's going to pass away. He was sick, then every God brother he said, knowingly I would have committed any offenses. Please forgive me. It's the only thing what Prabhupada did at the last moment, and the deathbed is asking for forgiveness, showing his humility to his God brothers. Can you imagine what Prabhupada is going through at the time of death? This is what he did. And we can never comprehend Prabhupada's humility. There are so many quotes. Sometime we can discuss.
Yes, Prabhu. That was very touching. Yeah, when I read Trilamrita also, it was very, very touching to see asking for, forgiveness, whatever he had told for his, God brothers. And in fact, they also made it very clear, no, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything which was aparad at all by any standard. They all tried to tell that, but Prabhupada still kept on insisting that You should forgive me for any offense I've done. And in fact, he also explains why he called everybody rascals and everything. Prabhupada was clapping so much because others could misread him of why you're using that word. And out of compassion, he was doing that. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and the preaching you would never compromise is humility. Does not mean that's what humility does not mean. Somebody speaking like rascal means, oh, he's not humble. How can we? Prabhupada is not humble. It's not like that. That's why I told you some of them, the humility is wrong understanding of humility. It's not inferiority complex. You have to tell the fact. It is a fact. That does not mean Prabhupada is not humble.
Yes. Prabhu, I think there's no
Hare Krishna Prabhu. One thing
Right.
is that this humility, what Prabhupada has exhibited, Prabhu, it shows very, very clearly, irrespective of the whatever the position one has, he should always exhibit his humility, forgetting the position that he owns.
Correct.
That is the key, Prabhu. Yes,
And
Prabhu.
that will
Correct.
automatically will come because everything that, oh, it is my Guru Maharaj mercy, it is happening, is because of Krishna's mercy. That depending on Krishna is there in his blood, and he always thinks that, oh, I'm not doing it. It's just Krishna's thing. Then always you will try to respect others.
Yes,
It's
Prabhu.
here. One time, one fly was not able to take any food. It was almost dying. Prabhupada and told his disciples, see that fly is not eaten for a long time. Probably you should give some food. Prabhupada, not only human beings, for other insects also, he was so compassionate. You can't imagine how Prabhupada compassionate goes to a fly. It's amazing.
Hari
Even
bol,
the
Prabhu.
webs they removed. He said no, you should not have done it. They have are staying here before us, no Prabhu. In somebody cleared the cobwebs in his room. Then he told, why did you do that? They came and they stayed much before us.
Prabhupada's compassion and his humility is mind-boggling. We can discuss.
Is there an instant that he got angry with somebody, Prabhu?
So many instances. He chastised Bhakti Charu Maharaj. He asked orange juice. It was almost the final pastime during that time. Then there was no orange. He went and around market to get it, and by the time he came and Prabhupada said, hey, where is my juice? No, another 2 minutes, I'll make it ready. Because he doesn't want to say, Guru Maharaj is asking, how can I say there is no, can I give something else? I should get it. He went, and by the time he brought it, Prabhupada was so angry for making orange juice because Prabhupada didn't know that there was no stock. You wanted to give me a juice, I've asked, you didn't give me, I don't want it, you take it back. And Bhakti Charmaj was standing there, only kept standing there. Prabhupada was chastising, he didn't go anywhere. Then finally he took, give me, then he Prabhupada time. Then Prabhupada said, I'm a very old person, I'm getting sick. That's why I've been tempered off, please don't mind. One time also another devotee was chastised, and he was in Prabhupada was on the balcony. And this devotee also went, Prabhupada, I really never felt angry when you chastise me. I felt always, you're compassionate. So the only one thing is that when somebody chastises, whether we leave their company, we'll go, we don't want to see them. But when Prabhupada chastised, they're more attached to it. That's because they never see that Prabhupada was chastising out of pride or something like that. He's saying that, oh, the son is trying to correct my father. When the son is chastised, you'll never leave the father and, go. And he knows that, oh, this is my correction. So that's further bonded them. Whenever Prabhupada chastised, they loved him so much that, oh, I didn't get the chastisement today. So their mood is completely different. So because they can see that Prabhupada is very humble, even though he chastises, it's for our benefit, that they could able to see through. That way, many pastimes of Prabhupada chastising his disciple.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for, thank you, devotees, also for sharing all your realization. It was again a wonderful nectar 1 hour which we had with you. So we just look forward to many more such sessions, Prabhu. So we'll just end with the Vaishnava Pranam.
Hari Hari. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you everybody for joining today's class. I'll just end this session now. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.